I let you off the hook with your Jamar Chase slander, mainly because, again, you were not in the minority. No, but again, you were not in the minority. A lot of people thought they should go offensive line. I guarantee you that there are people in the Bengals organization on draft day who thought that they should go offensive line. Your logic was always sound. You went too far. What?
Mike, the majority wasn't here doing brother from another. So don't let me off the hook. I was here. I went at the Bengals. So I need to take
I'm giving it to you. I'm drawing a distinction between you thinking that they should go offensive line and what, unfortunately, this is one of the low moments in this show's history. If I'm not mistaken, if memory serves, the day after the draft, your disagreement with the pick led to the longest and worst conversation I think we've ever had. It's in the top 5. Where you talked about teams that don't want to win. Whatever the F that means.
Was it longer than the Russell Westbrook conversation?
No, you're right. You're right.
Analytics?
That was the worst one. Russell Westbrook and analytics was 1 full hour, uninterrupted, no commercial breaks. I didn't know that was possible to do. This is the number 2 worst conversation we've ever had. Okay, where it was like certain teams don't want to win and the Bengals don't want to win, and you use the example of a wide receiver or of an offensive lineman that they don't want to win. Whether they want to win or not, they're winning. And they've now won in Pittsburgh.
Yes, they are.
And they have won in Baltimore, convincingly, both times. They have a quarterback and a wide receiver with whom they're going to win for a long time. And despite the questions about him coming after last year, looks like Zach Taylor's a good young coach, and that he might have a chance to be with him for a long time. But the real issue I had with they don't want to win was it completely ignored the resources that they poured into the defense in particular this offseason, led by Trey Hendrickson. Yeah. They got 6 starters on defense that are free agent acquisitions. Okay? And their defense is one of the best defenses in the league. We've talked all the time about Burrow and Chase. Yo, their defense is nasty. And so that's my bigger problem with you is that you couldn't see the forest for the trees, or you were blinded by your bitterness toward Mike Brown and the Bengals and their budgets or lack thereof. I know historically they've had the smallest scouting staff. I know he doesn't have naming rights on his stadium. I understand how cheap Mike Brown has been. My only point to you all along was that there is not knowing how to win and not wanting to win, and then there's also wanting to win your way. Same thing we say about players. Some players want to win at all costs. Some players want to win their way. Some organizations just do things a certain way. It doesn't mean they don't want to win. It just means they're stuck in their ways. And right now, Mike Brown's way is working because he has shelled out money in free agency, not just this offseason, but in the past. He's paid up for free agents. Yeah. He's done that. Okay, but right now, whatever they're doing is working, and you cannot leave them out of the conversation for best team in the AFC. Why not Cincinnati? I know that pains you to say, but why not Cincinnati?
No, it doesn't pain me. It doesn't pain me to say it. You know, it's funny. You had an unintentional, a little poetic turn there. Couldn't see the forest for the trees because I was stuck in what the jungle has always been. You know, Cincinnati, the jungle, and all this stuff. All right, anyway. That's nice. That's nice. It was really well done. Look, I'm going to apologize.
You want me to tell you got bars? You got bars?
No, I don't want that. I want to apologize to Jamar Chase. I want to apologize to Zach Taylor. I want to apologize to the current Bengals, because this is not about them. And it sounded like I was getting caught up. It sounded, I can see how that would sound personal to this current Cincinnati administration, this current regime, this current players, current roster. And it never really was about that. You're right, exactly. You're right that I am using the Cincinnati Bengals history. I'm getting caught up in the uniform and what that uniform has always represented for probably 30 years, as opposed to looking at them right now. You know what? You know what it would be like, Mike. I thought about this during the break. It's like if you get so used to the Detroit Lions drafting wide receivers, like trying to, Matt Millen drafting receiver year after year, and then you see them draft a receiver number 2 overall. Why are they drafting Calvin Johnson? Then they draft another wide receiver. Oh, no, wait.
I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that. Yes, exactly.
Hold on.
And yeah.
Oh, this is one though. This right here. This is cold receiver right here, player. This cold receiver.
But that's what I said. But that's what I said.
Right,
I remember saying it in that draft. I remember saying it in that draft because they went Roy Williams. They went Charles Rogers, Roy Williams, and Mike Williams in order, I believe.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people are like, "Why would you go wide receiver again?" I'm like, "Yeah, but none of them were this guy. None of them were Megatron.
This dude different."
Exactly. And this offseason, so, you were looking at the pass, like Awuzie and Hilton and Hendrickson, they were trying to put together a complete team and they succeeded. And even in the first conversation we were having, you still were skeptical. You still were like, I don't know. I'll see when I believe it.
So I apologize
quote Patrick Mahomes. I'll see it when I believe it is Patrick Mahomes' line. Exactly. That's what you were at earlier.
There's no need to go down that rabbit hole again. I can just tell you, I'm gonna step back. I'm gonna get to about 10,000 feet. I'm not gonna go 30,000. I'm gonna get up to about 10,000 feet. And all the things that you said, and just get some water, man. Get some water. Get you something to drink. Sip on a little something as I say this. Mike, all the things that you said all come back to, and this is where we just have a difference of opinion. You said there's don't want to win, and there is winning their own way and winning
or just incompetence,
terms, whatever it is,
or incompetence. That's the other one. They don't know any better.
I think that all goes back to the same thing. Like you can't. If I tell you, especially if I'm around it, if I'm around excellence, and they have been. Since 1990. They've been around some really excellent franchises up close. They're playing them twice a year.
You act like they were never in the playoffs.
I refuse to change.
like they never contended. They had 2 periods. The Carson Palmer period got derailed by his knee injury. They were very competitive then. Marvin Lewis had them in the playoffs every year. They just didn't win. So you act like they were just scrubs the whole time.
Well, but what I'm saying is, if I'm around excellence, this is just the way I look at it. If I'm around excellence and I refuse to change, I don't want to hear the excuse of, hey, I'm just doing it my own way. You do it your way. No. My way works. Your way does not work. Or your way works with limits. So your way will get you to a certain point, but my way will get us to the top. Consistently, we'll get to the top. And your way is just, you can only go so far, and yet you refuse to change. That's what I mean. Look, we don't have to go down. We don't have to go there again. All they got to do.
I'm gonna summarize it for you.
To shut somebody up, shut somebody like me up. All you gotta do is win. You win, I shut up.
Okay.
You win, I will shut up.
Because I'm gonna say it like this. I'm gonna go ahead and say it, and do what you got to do on the back end of this. Basically, because there's only one way to summarize your there's only one way to summarize your feeling on the Cincinnati Bengals. One way and one way only.
This gonna be bad.
Rabbit ears, not rabbit ears, earmuffs, kids, earmuffs, okay, earmuffs. Michael Holley is basically saying the Cincinnati Bengals ain't never been, and ain't never gonna be. That's basically what you're getting. That's your take on the Bengals in a nutshell, right? We were sort of cut to the chase, no pun intended. That's your take on the Bengals, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, in the present though, before we go to break.
Okay.
In the present, if it's not the Bengals, the AFC, man, it's well, like Charles was saying, a couple weeks ago it was clearly Buffalo after what they did to Kansas City. This time last week we were singing Baltimore's praises again. Okay, Tennessee has beaten Buffalo and Kansas City in back-to-back weeks. The Bengals just beat the brakes off Baltimore in Baltimore. Who is the class of the AFC, of that conference in your mind? If not Cincinnati, who are you giving it to?
Oh, it's close. Look. I think Cincinnati, right now, Cincinnati is in a conversation with two other teams. Imagine. Tennessee, well, actually three other teams. There's Cincinnati, there's Tennessee, there is Buffalo, despite the 4th-and-1 thing, and the Raiders. Right? I'd say those are the teams. But if I had
So you
to
just got to
pick
name
one,
all. You just got to name all the teams in the AFC. Pick one.
No, but I'm gonna pick one. And it's the Tennessee Titans. I told you, I love what they did.
All right.
I love those last two games and the way that they played. I love nobody else is built like the Titans. So the Kansas City had that explosive offense, but they don't have a running back that they can just rely on. Tennessee, more than relying on the running back, their running back is part of their identity. He's part of the logo. It's just what they do, and they're able to pass the ball, and they got toughness on defense, and they're well coached. So, yeah, I'd go with Tennessee. If you just force me to pick one, I'm going with Tennessee.
No, I'm not mad at that choice. I'm not mad at that choice. I think at the end of it all, I think Buffalo will be the team standing. If I had to pick one that's going to win the AFC, I think it's Buffalo. Buffalo, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Wait for it. Had Buffalo converted a 4th-and-1, or as Michael Holley said, kick the field goal. You know, we're not having that conversation about Buffalo or Tennessee. Buffalo would have beaten them into their bye week. I think Buffalo still ends up winning the conference. Right now, though, I think Cincinnati probably has the most defining victory in the conference, beating a Baltimore team that's going to be there at the end, as I like to say. You got one more word before we go to break?
I tell you, that Buffalo loss might cost them home field advantage in the conference championship game. It might be the loss that costs them a home playoff game when it matters the most.
Okay.
Just keep that in mind.